Hello everyone, welcome to the demo day for AI for Impact. We're delighted to see you here. First of all, I want to thank my co-instructors for this course. It's been a long journey. And the reason we are treating this different than a typical lecture class is we believe that innovators are not just entrepreneurs. It's very important for us to not believe in having a team or a problem or a solution on day one when you start a class, but instead use a studio approach where you can spot an opportunity for roughly 4 weeks and then probe it for additional 4 weeks to see what are some of the most important things, some of the most societal impactful problems you can work on and still make them lucrative in a business sense. So this has been a great journey for the last 12 weeks or so with us here in this class. Today we have some amazing mentors and judges joining us. They're up here on the stage and studied their background. They are entrepreneurs, investors, mentors who have done amazing things, and we really thank them for their time here. So we have 13 teams, and as you'll see, although the focus of the course is on AI and data and Web3 technologies, instead of focusing on things like cryptocurrencies or NFTs, the teams are trying to focus on something that's very impactful in the short and long term, focusing on some really broad areas like health and climate and mobility and empowering the local populations and so on. So I'm very proud of all the great work that's gone in. For the judges, welcome. We want you to evaluate the teams based on impact, uniqueness, and completeness. But the emphasis is not on market size or revenues and very specific plans. We're really good judging the teams based on how they're applying these new emerging technologies in impactful areas. So with that, let's get started. Are you guys ready? Yeah. All right. This is Carlos. Ready? So at Carlos, we have a very simple mission, or a very complete mission, which is we want to bring carbon credits, to turn it into an asset class and make it available for everyone. So the carbon credit market is big and it's growing fast. It has been recognized as the most tangible way to solve climate change. And we need 3 times more investment we have today to actually offset emissions. And if we look at the voluntary market, which is the sweet spot right there, it's 700 times that. So you might be wondering, why isn't money flowing into this market? But it should be, right? So it's a very opaque market, and there's 2 main problems. One is lack of transparency. Someone like Peter, a student at MIT, wants to buy a carbon credit. It's very hard to find an actual project and be able to trace it and find a price that makes sense. And lack of incentives. Peter buys the carbon credit, what do we do with it? Nothing. It's just a paper, you can hold it, you can invest on it. Then we have, like Paris, for instance, is a small producer in Kenya that wants to sell carbon credits. It's also very hard for her to do so because of all of the middlemen that are in between. So what are we doing in CarbonSuite? We're solving this by bringing all of the information into one platform, putting it on-chain, and then basically making this asset class available for people to buy and hold, not only having the carbon credit. And of course, that will lower the barriers of entry for the whole market, including Paris. Phase 1, we build a Yelp of carbon credits. Basically, we bring all of these retailers together in one platform and we make it transparent and easy and put a score on it. Phase 2, we build the vault of carbon credits. Basically, we build an API platform once we have the volume so that we can connect with the consumer-facing brands and we can make everyone have carbon credits at every aspect of their life. And finally, we create the Coinbase of carbon credits, for a way to put it, basically tokenizing these assets. And now, yes, you can really use you can use your money backed by nature or anything you can imagine. So you might be wondering why no one has done this before, and very simple reason. There's the current retailers, they want to own their projects and own their customers' relationships, like Pachama. You have the buyers that want independent view of the value of mobility, and they want all of the projects to be listed. And then the SEC is just not regulating this market. So we're a team of various skill sets, investing in SCG, investing in green bonds, creative designers, consultants, and we are set to solve this problem. It's a huge problem, and we'd love to have your feedback on it. We have a landing page here. Thank you very much. Questions? You can just go.
You use that one. Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
I think so. 3 minutes is a very, very tight timeline to try and present something as big and impactful as what you're presenting. So, question one. So the first iteration, first revenue, first minimal viable product. You spelled it out, but very quickly glossed over it. So, what exactly would be the first dollar of revenue? How would it come in?
Yeah. So, the first phase. On the first phase, we're focusing on gaining volume because we want credibility. That's basically the difference between our approach and the approach of our competition. So just to answer your question straightforward, we want to create like a consumer-facing platform where people can start actually buying the crates through our platform. So it's a B2C model. We want to start in this way until we have the correct partnerships to go API and start talking to the big tech companies.
Okay.
On your competition landscape, you had a red X or a measure. Why is that? What are you measuring?
This one?
Yes, for the measure row, you have a red X. Explain that.
Yeah, so measure is basically what Pachama does. Their mode is basically we have the best technology and AI to actually measure it with drones, and we'll tell you exactly what is in there. We're not doing that. We find that approach slower. Of course, it's an interesting approach, but then you have to scale that, and there's a challenge in that. So we're trying to bring what they're already doing and partnering with
them. Thank you, excellent presentation. I want to drill down on the quality because part of the lack of transparency is understanding the quality of initiatives. I don't understand how you're going to accurately assess the quality of the carbon offsets given the depth.
Yeah, so the quality is, we're going to leave that to our partners like Pachama. We just need to web scrape and take whatever we can get from their web pages already. We actually went in and tried to buy several carbon credits from these platforms, and we found it very easy to take this information out. So again, and to keep on answering your question, once we have enough information, then we want to rely on models of credit scoring. So this is not in the slide because it's too small, too little time, but we already been working with Fidelity on our project in MIT SLab, creating a green bond credit score. So that's one potential route. Just partnering with a big company is going to help us create a scoring system, and all of the information is already there. We don't have to go and measure it. It's going to be there in time.
We expose the standard that they're crediting under and the verified. So if a project comes, if it's on our platform and doesn't have a verified, doesn't have a standard, that's how we're so we're according to existing standards, just revealing that to the market, so providing that transparency. And those who don't represent that, that's an immediate indicator of a lower quality credit.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
Next news glimpse.
Hi everyone, can you hear me? So how many of you use your phone to take photos and videos? Everyone, right? What if I told you that instead of just taking videos and posting them online on social media, you could actually make money out of it? So the Glimpse platform tries to build an ecosystem around photos and videos, footage that is taken with your cell phones. However, the problem that we're facing is that a lot of the videos and photos that people take, we don't really know where they were taken, at what time, and it's very hard to verify. So if there's one takeaway from this presentation is this slide. This is what a glimpse is. A glimpse is the combination of photo or video with the time and the corresponding place. So the way this works is you use your cell phone, you take a photo, it runs through an AI verification algorithm, which I will explain in a moment. Then once it's verified, it's being added to a database that we have. It's sort of a geolocation database with all the photos and video. And people that their photos and videos are valuable will be compensated with either tokens or just cash. So just a quick walkthrough how the app would look like. This is from the perspective of maybe a journalist that wants to try to find a story. So they tap a place on the map, they request footage. Then all the people that are around the area that the person is looking for the footage they're being notified with the app, and they're able to capture the moment with their phone. We verified that it was actually being taken with the time and place that the person that took the footage claims it was. And then it's being added to a map where all the events are being presented to people that may have interest in looking for them. But it doesn't have to be only for journalism, right? Like if you think about it, we have people that we know where they are and when they are there, and they're just taking photos. So why not use it for, you see a car accident down the street, you just take a photo, maybe somebody 2 days later would contact you and want the verified footage. They know that it was actually taken in the same place and time that you claim it was. Or if you find a dog roaming around, maybe you can just take a photo and somebody would be very appreciative to see their dog on the app. Or for documentary stories or for research, if you watch sport on the street, or there's a lot of use cases that we can think about with the power of just taking photos and videos and submitting them on the map.
Time.
So this is how we plan to do it. We're going to launch a very ridiculously simple app, which we already have in development, only here in Boston. Once we get a few hundred people that use it, we can just use some fund to ask them to take a footage. We'll pay them for the footage. And once we have a lot of data, we can turn it into an SDK where other apps can use it to have verified photos on their own. And then obviously we can create this autonomous market where people ask for photos, and other people take photos if they're nearby, and they get paid. Just as one moment about the competition. So there's no actually platform that does something like that. We try to look at the media gig economy, which is gig economy for photos, videos, and media of this sort. And startups that do it or companies that do it, they are either focusing on a specific thing like in-store, or like a specific market that is not very general, it's not very engaging, or they're not really incentive. Like app like Citizen, okay, it's for security. You take videos and photos of events that might be harmful, but they don't really incentivize the users. This is our team. This is Benjamin Rocky, who worked with me, and Taylor Carter, and we're very happy to be here. Thank you very much.
1 minute of questions.
Just one minute?
Yep.
Have you thought about branding certified news, like putting some kind of trust token?
Yeah, I think that's exactly one of what we're thinking, so that this eventually becomes a trusted database of verified videos that news media and everyday people can access to know what's happening.
I can say a word maybe how we thought of integrating Web3 into this. So we think that this is classic for a launch with Web3-ish techniques. So at the beginning, people would not be just willing to give away their photos or like just take a photo. There's privacy issues and so on. Maybe we can give them a token instead of just cash, and then it would create the initial engagement with users, so they know that their photo would worth more if the company.
Thank you. Next team.
Hi everyone, my team Moss, and this is Sean, that's 501 Ship. So after conducting 60 plus interviews with micro creators and fans, we realized that a major avenue for growth for creators is the community they build around them. Micro creators don't really care as much about the number of views and the number of likes, but it's more about a loyal and excited community they build around them. And the challenge is that current platforms, whether it's social media or fan-based platforms, or passion economy platforms, don't effectively allow them to do this and monetize on top of this. Besides the community around them, it's tough to be a micro creator. There are large amounts of capital investments for them required in terms of equipment, marketing teams, as well as creative teams. Their fans want to participate in the creator's growth beyond just passive viewership, whether it's accessing high private content, whether it's investing in the creator or supporting the creator beyond just viewing their content. And currently the platforms offer a rather transient relationship where the fan and the creator are only economically tied and the fan doesn't have actual investment in the creator. So the challenge here is, while on one hand, the creators want community, the creators want easier sources of financing their projects, and fans want to invest in creators more than just passively viewing their content. Currently, there's no platform that allows this.
Yeah, so the solution that we're thinking about is this idea of enabling a creator IPO, the idea of building a platform where content creators can monopolize and monetize off of their engaging communities, but also allowing the fans to be a part of that, be engaged, and be rewarded for their engagement. So what does that look like? We have a short demo. I don't know if that's the kids. Cool. And so it would be something like this. You log on, you see the different creators, you see the different social accounts. If you want to support someone like Joelle, we can click it to her. This is her community page. You can pay $20 to be a member in the community. You have membership perks based on the different tier of engagement. Something like a silver tier, you can get access to exclusive NFT drops, earn Moss rewards, as well as access to exclusive content. And down below is information about the artist. Say we want to purchase this for $20, you can pay with your card, the native token, any other crypto. So you can pay with the native. We go back to our homepage, you'll see a couple of things. At the top, total number of rewards we built so far. Middle, the communities that we're part of. The bottom, the NFT collection that we've amassed. You see Joelle, which we just added. If we go into Captain Boring, a community we've been active in, you'll see, the different rewards we've earned. 110 Moss coins. And there's 3 ways to earn rewards. 1, number of tokens you earn, tokens you own. 2, the creator growth. This idea of, as a creator grows, we want the fan to grow along with them, be rewarded. So in this case, for every coin or every 10,000 new views, are 1 for every 1,000 subscribers. And so that's the creator growth. And then engagement. So this idea of logging into the social media accounts, tracking how they interact across different social media. And then we'd also give this information back to the creators so they're understanding relationally how their fans interact across different social media.
So just to quickly wrap up, then looking at the different competitive landscape, obviously there's a lot of competitors here. I think there's 2 things I would say differentiate ourselves. So firstly, as Sean mentioned, the data, the underlying data platform and data lake that we hope to amass by incentivizing fans on the socials. And then secondly, the more active participation through having these engagement and sort of performance measures. So with that, we'll open up to questions.
So super tight presentation, really, really nice. What do you think about countries, world? How does this roll out across the world?
Sure, so I can start with that. So I think the obvious start for us is the United States, given it's such a big market for creators, and we're specifically targeting Twitch streamers. So predominantly in North America, are Twitch gamers and streamers. From there, I think there's a lot of potential in Asia. So given Twitch, the natural move out is into esports. I think that's a big potential in Asia, and that's more untapped in terms of both the fans, there's big fan followings for these streamers in Asia, but also the potential for those creators and those streamers to sort of embrace this sort of platform that they get as much.
So just from a monetization standpoint, aside from the data, how would you fund the payments, right? So obviously, you buy the token, so there's some money to pay. But beyond that, it seems like it's sort of based on engagement. So then the user can get paid for engagement, or they get paid creator growth. So how would that go back to that?
Sure. So there's sort of two things we've been thinking about. So either those engagement tokens becoming an annual sunset. So this token is good for 1 year, and then next year we need to buy a new token. That sort of has more capital flowing in. I think the second part where you have the leakage of the money out, you're paying those fans. I think our thoughts is twofold. Like firstly, it might not even need to be a financial payout. So as Sean mentioned, some of those benefits could be things like Zoom meeting, exclusive merchandise. So the other fan. So we're sort of exploring that opportunity set. But otherwise, we would have to think about maybe some commission. So if you're growing enough as a creator, you're making enough off social media, other platforms, you can give some of that back.
Thank you, Timas.
We're still first, we're building on top of the skills and source skills. AI and automation are changing the job market. It's like if a machine or software can do a job, soft skills represent humans and organizations in the job market. That's why it's important that education institutions invest in soft skills training for instance. Some institutions are really doing the next thing. What they do is not scalable. Others, such as Coursera, are designed to be scalable, but they're not affected with soft skills training. Soft skills are based on social interactions. And what makes social interactions so special, so unique, are the emotions that they generate. The way we feel when we address an audience, or when we negotiate at the table, maybe we don't seat or a sit-down, or when we lead the team. And the ability to recognize and handle those emotions, both ours and others, is the key to really mastering soft skills. We are building a VR platform where emotions and other essential traits relevant to soft skills training are monitored via facial tracking software. And with the track data, AI provides specific feedback to students and lay a path of activities she has to undertake platform in order to improve their performance. Initially, we'll be focusing on public speaking, and we will be providing a two-level service, a one-to-one AI interaction where students acquire specific tools and techniques relevant to public speaking, and then practice them on the platform with an AI assistant. And two, synchronous activities where students meet with their peers on the platform and together run specific exercises where all the dynamics necessary to unlock soft skills occur. Our target market is the United States, high schools and higher education institutions, a total of 37 million students, and we can sell our services to those institutions for an annual fee of just $250 per students, yielding us a total addressable market of 9.25. Right now, we are working on validating our assumptions. We are running experiments with human trials and to validate the assumptions we are, and we are building our end. We will be done in this phase by August. And as you can see, we have a clear and busy agenda for the future. I have 15 years of work experience as an entrepreneur in the soft skills sector. George is an architect of the metaverse. Louis is a professor of artificial intelligence, and Joy is here. She is an engineer with a background in management consulting. Together, we are skillverse, giving today's students the skills they need for the work of tomorrow. And we're here today looking for advisors and for seed funding for R&D. Thank you.
Great job, team. Why do students? I'm in the business world, nobody has soft skills. Why are you limiting them?
For two reasons. First is more aligned with what our mission is, which is that provides high-level education around the world. Second, which is a little bit more realistic, let's say that with high schools as a teaching market, our learning curve is much steeper, and also is a kind of public that is also like, let's say, less demanding in terms of performance. So we can learn more, improve our technology, and when we're ready in a few years, we will plan to enter the price point. Of course, the price point is a bit different because there's a different payment.
How will you measure success for engagement?
So we're looking at using two different, so one perspective is looking at machine learning models. We can do, for example, pose detection or tracking one's emotions, but engagement can be really tracked in terms of one's social interaction, as well as interaction we have with this AI assistant or with different students.
There are specific metrics when it comes about performing well with soft skills, and we have a deep expertise on that in the real environment. Right now, the social experiments that we are running with human trials are designed to measure the gap response from these metrics from the real world to the VR. So it's actually what we're focusing on right now. We know how it works in the real world. We must understand what's the gap in the VR and then adjust the metrics so that they yield the same results.
What is the competitive landscape?
Right now, for exactly what we're doing, there is no competition. The closest thing that they do is like a passive environment, like Coursera or other like platform where they basically tell you what you should do, but what they all are missing is the social interaction development. There is right now no platform that does that kind of service, that kind of exercises, and provides feedbacks on those metrics.
Thank you.
Hey, we're calling. We're ensuring the future of small business. Meet Mira. Mira moved to the States from West India when she was 10. In 2019, after a career as a nurse, she decided to open a Shopify store selling stationery products to reach $1 million in sales by 2020. But when COVID hit, she suddenly needed loans in order to survive. She approached banks, she approached lenders, she even approached her suppliers to provide her net terms, but none of which gave her the loans. She was too risky, there was not enough data on her. Apparently, Mira's story is not only her story, it's a story of many small businesses. They don't have access to credit, and when they do, it's too expensive. This market is approximately $650 billion. So what is our solution? Our solution is to enable small businesses to receive net terms from their suppliers. What is net terms, you're asking? It's when the supplier provides the product but doesn't charge straight away, charges after 30, 60, 90 days. And that is the cheapest form of credit that there is. How are we going to do that? Businesses like Mira's businesses, We're going to integrate with a Shopify store, with her QuickBooks account. Then we're going to analyze the data with our AI robust creditworthiness model. And then we're going to provide insurance to her suppliers so they feel confident to provide her with a loan. I'm now going to pass it to Kapil to talk about our value proposition and our
The main priority of a customer is to have access to financing at low rates. Since we integrate with their QuickBooks, we can monitor their financial and operational data and provide them access to financing. And since the actual financing is done by the supplier, we can provide it at lower rates compared to the other competitors. So now we move on to our roadmap. We have identified the e-stores as a beachhead market. E-stores have a digital presence, which makes it easier for us to do the credit assessment. Eventually, we plan to move on to other SMEs. First, we plan to be the credit insurer for these SMEs, and eventually we would be the main insurer. In order to achieve our first milestone, we believe that a venture studio or an accelerator is the best platform. Moving on to our team, we have expertise in AI, financial, legal sector, as well as business. So that's why we believe this is the right team to tackle this problem. Thank you for listening to us, and we are open for questions.
Thank you very much. Great presentation. So have you heard of Loan Factory? Where you get your invoices, use your invoices as collateral for, is it similar to that, or is that the relationship that they have with suppliers? So factoring is, as you described, it is when you actually provide the loan and you take a big bite of that, like a premium. So what we're doing, we're not providing the loan, we're just letting the suppliers to provide the net terms. We just charge a very small premium to ensure the case of default or non-payment in that case. So that's why we're able to be the cheapest. Yeah, factoring is like a huge business.
Yeah, in 20 seconds or less. So in your financing plan, the next most important thing that you want to do is get into an accelerator, either Y Combinator or Techstars. Why? What are you hoping to get?
We feel that we need the support. Like we need like a kind of more than just money at this point. So we're a great team, but we feel that we'll benefit a lot from the data, from the guidance, mentoring that we'll be able to get, and the small capital.
Great. Time for one more question.
Okay. Yeah. All right, real tight. The minimum viable product. So Shopify store, QuickBooks user, and then what's the funding source? What are the
so what we're going to, our MVP is going to be actually just back-to-back using the trade credit insurer that will insure that transaction. We're going to use their assessment, but we're going to run our assessment, our creditworthiness assessment in parallel. Once we realize that it's better than theirs, we can do the underwriting ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Corn.
All right, thank you so much, everyone. So we are product now, and we are on a mission to connect top Web3 talents to build Web3 products. So the current problem today is that even though Web3 has seen tremendous growth in terms of development in space, it's still very difficult to create talents to actually build on Web3. So on one hand, you have talents that have skill set in Web2 that want to transition to Web3, but they cannot do that. And on the other hand, you have companies that are trying to build products in Web3, but do not find top talent. So Product DAO is the solution. And what we do is that we create a platform that decentralize our talent actually build products in Web3 space. The way we go about doing this is that we identify top talents, we screen them, we also score them based on their existing skill set, For now, we're going to focus on product, tech, and design skill set. And on the other hand, we work with companies also to be able to identify product area that they want to build. And then we then help them structure bounties, product bounties, that we then open to talents to work on. But the focus here is to be able to make sure that we can create talent that can actually build quality products for these companies. So on the right-hand side, you can see the UX of the platform. So this is where we've actually structured a product idea into bounties. And there is where each product idea, you can see it's kind of like a product step, where for each step, we have a skilled NFT attached to each steps. So here is where we can actually have a talent that we've already uploaded to actually submit, to make a submission of the bounty. And based on the submission and based on the review that the product leader does, the top submission actually can win a skilled NFT. We also can incentivize them on crypto or tokens whenever we actually choose the top talent. So we are actually operating in the intersection of a huge market right now. So we have the global gig economy that is growing and it's projected to grow 445 billion by next year. Now, on the other side, also we have the crypto, a huge increase in demand in terms of crypto jobs. So in terms of our value proposition, we focus one on the collaboration layer where we are creating top talents to actually work with this company. The second thing is structuring the incentivization, which is the token that attracts top talent to actually work on our platform. So we actually have a pilot on the way right now. We are focused on MIT and other students. We've identified 62 students who have shown interest to do with us, and we've also identified some projects that we want to work on. And the whole idea is to test this bounty process where we can actually build products in a much decentralized way. So this is our launch strategy. We want to execute on the pilot that we have at MIT and Harvard, and then in the next 6 months, scale to all the top universities, and then eventually to actually scale globally. So this is the team. We are a team of very diverse people from product, tech, and marketing, and we also have people that have actually worked with talent marketplace like Indeed. You can join us on this journey. We are looking to get mentors and advisors to actually help us build this one. Thank you.
I have a quick question around, you mentioned skills and NFT. You're using NFTs to verify skills, I assume. What's the...
No, so we use the NFT to actually reward based on the submission. And it's also served as a credential. So whenever you actually make a top submission and the product or the company says, like, this is the best idea, that skill and NFT that we give you is actually a way to credentialize you to say you actually have demonstrated the skill in the Web3 space. So it's a way to actually employ people to
Good talk. Two questions. One is, do you define talent as an individual, or do you define talent as a bundle of individual into team? Second one is, do you just identify talent, or do you also try and upgrade?
So at this point, in initial stage, we're going to focus on individual talents. Over time, when we have enough diverse talent within our ecosystem, within our platform, we want to do the curation. So for example, let's say a company brings an idea that requires product, tech, and design. We're going to make sure we can curate that talent to actually deliver quality outcome. On your second question, so the second question was
identify person training.
So yeah, so also I think at this stage, because there's scarcity of talents, I think there's an opportunity to upskill, but we want to be more focused, right? So first of all, we just want to focus on identifying top talent within this ecosystem like MIT and Harvard and do the matching. Over time, we can also add a lot of gamification on the platform where we can actually give them bounties and skills opportunity to actually upskill as well.
I love the idea, especially with the idea of the distributed bounty system. I wonder why you decided to go bounties based on talent as opposed to projects.
So I think from the Web3 native, what we've seen is that a lot of talent flows kind of are more incentivized if it's like a bounty system where it's very short, where you're not required to actually work like a long period of time. Is one of the things that incentivize people. The second thing also is that I think the value add that we provide as product now is working with companies to define a unit of work. So ways that like you actually have this huge project that could be very complex, but we actually can break it down, to break it down into getting to work, and then attach skill identity and decentralization to those. I'm not sure.
We're out of time. Thank you, Product Al.
Morning, we're Own It. We're the future of data ownership. I'm going to start by introducing you all to Sarah. Sarah's been using Garmin to track her fitness for a while now, but she's recently noticed that a lot of her community has sort of splintered off into using different apps for tracking their fitness data. This is frustrating to her because it's difficult for her to transfer her data to these new apps. But this isn't the only place in Sarah's life where this is happening. She's also a crypto enthusiast, and every time she finds a new crypto project she's interested in, she joins the corresponding Discord channel, and even there, she has to rebuild her influence again. She can't transfer over her influence from previous communities, previous projects she's been a part of. These are actually the same problem. In Web 2, users cannot easily transfer their influence from former communities that they were previously a part of to new communities that they want to join. Web 3, on the other hand, is natively built to support this sort of composability. We already see this with Web3 wallets that people have with tokens in them when they go to decentralized exchanges. They can move freely between these decentralized exchanges, taking their tokens with them. But in terms of digital persona, there's no solution yet for doing the same. Our solution to this is Own It Protocol. Own It Protocol allows users to seamlessly transfer their digital persona between Web3 applications. We believe it's the future of how people will own, share, and monetize their data across platforms. In fact, we imagine that it's the underlying infrastructure that will make possible the next level of experiences that will be responsible for bringing the next billion users to Web3. And so we accomplish this by introducing what we call a PNFT. This is different than an NFT, sort of like a Bored Ape or something like that, but you can think of it more as a key that would sit in your wallet that directly connects to privately stored data. So the owner of this key can ultimately control who has access to the data that it corresponds to. In this next slide, you can see this in action. So we can see a user connect to a Web3 website, upload their wallet. When they connect with their wallet, the PNFT is found in this wallet. That PNFT is momently transferred over to the Web3 service to read that data, and then immediately passed back to the user, all in a single transaction. And then with that data, the experience is tailored specifically to that user based on the data.
Great. So looking at the value prop, we see it coming two ways. For the user, it's a great experience, more personalization along the way, and monetization of their data. And then from the business perspective, we see it leading to stickier communities, which will ultimately drive better conversion rates and sustainability for the project. We've been looking at the industry perspective. We see this as obviously a very big industry with a lot of talk about how to go forward with it, given the controversies of the space. So for phases, we see the first phase as being a pilot project. After speaking to various Web 2 and Web 3 communities, we see the health and fitness wellness area as our first beachhead market. With that, after we build out the product, we expand the market, and then future have privacy for medical records. And yeah, given this is our team with experience across software engineering, blockchain, and AI. So that's all. Thank you.
So, killer presentation, really, really big opportunity. How does it tie into influencer marketing, which is growing like crazy?
Yeah, I think it ties in very nicely. I think in terms of the boss protocol that we saw earlier, I think this is a natural way that we could initial Web3 application that we can use as sort of a pilot.
I know one of you worked at Apple. I'm curious, what lessons have you learned lately in privacy? What gives you a competitive advantage as to why you're going to win?
So I think the core of this product is built on full privacy. First fundamental is like we shouldn't be logging anything that we don't know. So people just like naively log everything that they might want to use in future, but that's not the right way to approach it. The second is once you log the right things, you have to figure out how do you not compromise the PII information is cleansed. So one of our principles here is we're collecting the user data and storing it into the PNF. We can collect the data, but make sure it sends all the PII information from the institute that. There's really two more, but I'll save you the details.
Right. So you identify a clear pinpoint. It's really important. Two issues. One side is the data property right issue. The other one is the technical compatibility issue. Right? Which one do you think is more challenging?
So we've actually worked on the second point you had mentioned. We have a demo over here. I forgot to mention that if anyone's interested in more of a technical demo of that user experience, check this out in the showcase after. So I would argue that first point, since we have not yet started.
Okay, I think we should stop. Thank you very much. All right.
Hello, everyone. I want to start off by telling you the story of Julio. Julio is a Chilean founder who founded his company 8 years ago, Agenda Pro. Agenda Pro, since then, has been helping SMBs manage and grow their business through an all-in-one CRM platform. Julio has already secured 4,000 recurrent clients. Yet, when I met him in Mexico a few months ago, he told me that his biggest obstacle to scaling his business is accessing capital. Julio is not alone. This is a reality for Latin American founders. They have to face an average cost of capital between 40 to 100%. Sometimes they even have to jeopardize their personal assets to access a loan. If lucky enough to access VC funding, they experience a dilution of up to 85%. Notwithstanding, they spend between 40 to 50% of their time doing fundraising planning. We at Crew believe this is completely unfair and generates tremendous opportunity costs. Therefore, we aim to democratize funding for Latin American fast-growing businesses. We aim to leverage the ever-increasing amount of data these companies generate to create an AI-driven loan technology that creates financing that is non-dilutive, agile, and scalable. By doing this, we can transform recurring future revenue into upfront growth capital without dilution or restrictive terms. Think about using data as collateral and revenue as a new asset class. Current solutions in the market are either costly, industry-specific, or not tailored to a specific founder's financing needs. Our product is built for and to empower startups and services SMBs. And we believe that this can create a tremendous network effect in the market. Just like in the US, Pipe did it, founded 2 years ago, and created tremendous multiplier effects. They have reached a valuation of $2 billion just with 80 employees. We want to be the Pipe for Latin America. And we believe this is a sizable and growing opportunity in the market, expected to reach $7 billion by 2026. Our vision is to become the leading provider of funding as a service for Latin American fast-growing companies. And we have the perfect team to do so. We combine experience in finance, strategy, machine learning, lending, and tech startups. We have already secured 3 LOIs in the Mexican market, and we're looking for funding to launch a startup beta test over the summer. So join us in the quest to democratize access to funding for Latin American fast-growing businesses.
Fantastic presentation skills, super high energy, absolutely engaging. So what made Pipe so successful? One more level of detail.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great question. What made Pipe, which is our exemplary, was a great company? Well, it's actually one thing. It's risk measurement. What they do is that they have a pretty high knowledge of the customer base that they onboard, and they divide them in different credit risk buckets. Similar to what they do with Moody's and S&P 500 with public companies, they do it for private companies and for recurring revenue base. And then they match that with institutional investors that can bid real time for those buckets of risk.
And is that risk modeling AI driven, or is that?
It's completely AI driven. That's the reason why they have only 8 employees and they have scaled that tremendously.
Great presentation. Team, why isn't this not food world? Why isn't Latin America your first market? Is there something unique about going there when you expect to expand?
Yeah, thank you very much. Why Latin America? It's two things. I'll start by the easy one. The three of us standing here were Latin Americans, so we have a pretty strong attachment to the region. The second one is that the region is right now experiencing a massive inflow of money going into VC investment. And we believe that every source of funding shouldn't be used for the same use cases. So VC money is pretty good and it's a complement to what we're proposing, but it's specific to launching a new product or to entering a new market. What we want to do here is diminish the dilution that these companies are experiencing and leveraging in the recurrency nature of their business and unlock capital for growth, customer acquisition, or even hybrid teams. So we see that this as a complement in a really good moment in the Latin American region.
It said you were looking for raise $1 million. So how big are the loans that you'd be able to deploy at that amount? Should you think about raising more? Because deploying capital is what you're receiving capital.
Yeah, in terms of the money that we're raising, I think that's a great question. We actually would need more. We have 3 companies with the LOIs. We have a pipeline of more companies, with 3 secured with an LOI. There are Series A and SaaS companies present in Mexico and Chile. They actually, each of them are looking between 1 and 1.5 million loans. We have already started conversations with them and tell them that we don't have that much money right now, but that we could start a beta test with them over the summer, and then based on how that goes, raise more money from other sources. The idea is to raise this first initial $1 million by convertible debts, so we can make the proof of concept.
Thank you, crew.
Hi, everybody. We represent Kari, which is off the hand, and our tagline is bringing the handmade into metal. And before we sort of speak about what this is, we'd like you to hear the voices of the people whose work we want to bring to you. So essentially, what you see here on the left is Bhattachitra art, which is depicting the wedding of 2 fish. Of course, it may sound different and unique to some people, some maybe even exotic, but for the artist who lives in West Bengal, this is what he has grown up with. There are 20 people in this family, all of whom have been artists across generations. And the reason that we want to bring these stories to you is because they are the ones who are not only repositories of art and craft, but also bring forward many beautiful traditions such as traditional knowledge, sustainable coloring, and other kinds of ways of doing things. As far as artisans in India are concerned, they are a very, very important base because there are 7 million artisans, 3,000 craft traditions, and there is a huge market. The global projection is said to be over $1,200+ billion by 2026. And the reason that we feel that these are the stories that we can bring to you are because of our mothers. Shankar's mother was an artisan whose work was taken away by the middleman in terms of value and worth. It is my mother who sat with weavers and helped weave this dress that I'm wearing today. But do you know the stories of these women? And how do you reach out to them and access them? That is precisely why we were inspired to bring this forward. What are the problem areas that we want to solve? First and foremost is that this is an intergenerational market. These are people who do not have access to digital resources, but they have a wide variety of products which can be built up. Secondly, there is a huge demand for trying to look at people who can not only create products, but also tell their stories. And we'd like to show how we want to fit that in.
So, next generation artisan and a computer science engineer now, it gives me enough tools to bridge this gap that we face in the economy. So we have our artisan collectors and we're connecting them to collectors. We look at Kari as being a visual archive. Our team to make visual archives, develop AR and create partnerships with these collectors so that our main product is basically on how we can use videos and connect them with cryptospatial coordinate systems and develop AR NFTs and use physical artifacts and get them insured for the collectors. So we look at token as like the collectors buying something and the artisans receiving a token for it, which they can encash it through color banks and also for technological literacy. And collectors, when they share something on social media or other publicity, they get the tokens for it, and then they can encash it further for the physical artifacts and insurances further. We have a big prototype that we have that you can see. This is our vault, the token vault, and then they can look at different locations and art available over there. They can see their AR products and the stories available in those AR products and buy it.
And I think our time is up. Then the basic point that we want to make is that across the competitive landscape is such that everybody has become a corporate middle.